Hi, everybody. This is your host, Chris Iacono, and you're listening to Season 5, Episode 1 of Atomic Rumpus. For access to exclusive and premium content, check us out online at patreon.com/Atomic Rumpus. And now, on with the show. We are back! Thank you for tuning in. The hiatus is over. Atomic Rumpus is here again. So for those of you checking out the show, thank you. If you're just finding us for the first time on iTunes, we are in the middle of a rebrand, so you may see the name of the show appear a little differently than what I say the name of the show is. And thank you for being here for that journey. Hope everybody had a great bunch of holidays. It's well past those holidays now, but we didn't get to chat. Hope you had a good Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, and whatever else you may celebrate. Hope you had a happy New Year. Hope you did a bunch of stuff. And we've got so much going on. We've got a great year lined up for you. And we are just generally happy to be back. So just remember, stay tuned to this podcast feed. This is where you're going to see the new shows. You should be getting this show on our original podcast feed that you were already subscribed to. We're doing some technical things behind the scenes that will just automatically subscribe you to the new feed from the old feed. We've got some tech nerds working on that. It does, believe it or not, take a bit. And we want to get some shows out on the feed before we actually flip the switch. So, while you have the chance, download the old episodes. If you haven't done so already, the first 4 seasons are only going to be up on the feed for another 3 months. All of the original TWS stuff has a shelf life. We're going to be archiving it. Like that last scene from the first Indiana Jones, when they take the Ark of the Covenant and they put it in the warehouse and they're like, hey, you can't get this no more? That's what's going to happen. One day you're going to wake up and be like, oh my God, where did the last 100 episodes of the show go? Oh, they've been archived. And after they are archived, the only way to get them is to check out our Patreon page, where we're going to have all the archived stuff. But for now, you can still download them, so get them while you can. Let us know how you are doing by sending us a message. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, /Atomic Rumpus for all of those. And without further ado, everything you need to know in the news. Vermont has officially become the 9th state to legalize cannabis. Oh yeah. Hey, congratulations to the 3 listeners we have in Vermont. I'm assuming it's 3, because I've never actually gotten a message from anybody that's been like, hey, I like your show, I'm from Vermont. I don't even think I've ever met anybody from Vermont. To be honest, I'm not even sure Vermont actually exists. You've heard about Vermont. You've read about Vermont. People have said the word Vermont. But have you actually ever seen a Vermont? I have not. So maybe this is an episode of The Twilight Zone where Vermont is really just this imaginary thing. Maybe this is like Truman Show. I don't know. But either way, this imaginary place, sometimes known as Vermont, has just legalized weed. Yay! Oh my God. This means police will no longer be able to kidnap you and brutalize you for smoking a plant in Vermont. That is always a good thing. So here's what Republican Governor Phil Scott has said about the whole thing. Quote, I personally believe that what adults do behind closed doors and on private property is their choice, so long as it does not negatively impact the health and safety of others, especially children. End quote. All right, decent quote. I don't really appreciate the whole appeal to the children thing. I'm really sick of that stupid argument. Oh, what about the children? What about the children? You are responsible for taking care of your children, not me. Unless I'm walking around blowing weed smoke in your kids' faces, leave me alone with this whole "what about the children" argument. But hey, you know what? Good job, Governor Phil Scott from Vermont. He has signed the law, and it's official. It's official. He signed it, which means it's official. So under the provisions, people over the age of 21 will be allowed to possess up to an ounce of marijuana and grow as many as, 2 mature plants and 4 immature cannabis plants. 6 plants. Wow, it's so generous. So this does not allow for commercial sales yet, which means no dispensaries, no official businesses, but a step in the right direction. Again, police can't kidnap you and throw you in a cage for keeping a plant in your pocket. So the governor used what's known as an executive order to create a commission to study the implications of legalization last year, but said he is not ready to support legal marijuana sales yet, which I guess is a good thing. It's good and bad, because once the state governments realize how much tax money there is in cannabis, they sink their claws into it. Now, you may think, it's so amazing to have a dispensary, to have, the ability to walk into a store and buy cannabis safely. And sure, all those things are great. However, keep in mind, historically, once the government gets their greedy claws into something, they never let go. That's what California is going to be experiencing soon. They decided to legalize it, and they're already talking about the taxes being outrageous in California. So the taxes are so outrageous that it's not actually destroying the black market. People are still buying it on the black market. So I love the black market. I think black markets are great. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just an alternative to legally being able to buy it. So step in the right direction. Vermont is actually a very interesting place. We got some fun facts about Vermont right here. Let's go through them real quick. Vermont was the first state admitted into the Union after the ratification of the Constitution. Okay, well, I would have chosen to go my own way, but you can do that, Vermont. You did that. Another fun fact about Vermont, it's got a population of less than 9,000 people in the capital. So Montpelier, Vermont, is the smallest state capital in the U.S. There's like 4 people there. Montpelier, I think I'm saying that right. Montpelier, it's some French bullshit. It's the only state capital without a McDonald's. That's a great thing. I guess In-N-Out Burger must be big out there. It must be a Burger King state. Which, by the way, I'm not a big fast food guy, but Burger King breakfast, 1,000 times better than McDonald's breakfast. I mean that. I'll fight you on that, bro. Your sausage McMuffin has got nothing on the sausage, egg, and cheese that Burger King can crank out. What? In the ratios of cows to people, because that's apparently a real ratio, Vermont has the greatest number of dairy cows in the country. Who'd have thought? It's 2 cows for every 1 person. That's a lot of cows. Hope you like milk. Montpelier is the largest producer of maple syrup in the U.S. Wow. Well, hey, you know what I mean? If they have the manufacturing facilities for maple syrup, you can easily convert those facilities to produce hash. And I know that because I just made it up. The biggest employer in Vermont is IBM. Irritable bowel movement is an employer in Vermont. At various times during history, Vermont was claimed both by New Hampshire and New York. Everybody wants a piece of them cows and maple syrup, apparently. Until 1996, Vermont was the only state in the Union without a Walmart. Another good thing. The Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Company, based out of Vermont, gives their ice cream waste to the local Vermont farmers who use it to feed their hogs. The hogs seem to like all the flavors except mint Oreo. God, because who doesn't like mint Oreo? Apparently pigs. Apparently disgusting, filthy pigs hate mint Oreo. They wallow in their own shit, but yet mint Oreo, minty smelling Oreo, no good for these pigs. Also, what is ice cream waste? What could possibly be thrown out in the ice cream making process? I mean, it's either a combination of milk, sugar, cream, or nuts and chocolate. How's that waste? There's no waste in ice cream. It's ice cream extra. Rudyard Kipling, the author of The Jungle Book, who lived in Vermont in the 1890s, invented the game of snow golf. All right, so first off, that's not a real game. I don't care who you. I don't care if you're Mark Twain. You can't just invent golf games like that. Snow golf? Okay. Obviously, Rudyard Kipling has been smoking weed in Vermont for over 100 years. Obviously, if you're going to come up with a book like The Jungle Book, you need to be stoned out of your mind. If you're in Vermont, you cannot purchase alcohol if you have an out-of-state license. You must have a liquor ID in order to purchase alcohol at liquor stores and grocery stores. This doesn't apply to bars, but it does affect those who are traveling through the states. So, okay, I think we can officially say, Vermont, okay on cannabis, retarded on alcohol. This is your state on government. Derp! U.S. President Calvin Coolidge was the only president born on the 4th of July, and he was born in Plymouth, July 4th, 1872. That's all it says here. I guess Plymouth is in Vermont. Calvin Coolidge, though, he was one of the presidents, and he did some stuff. The Vermont State Capitol building is one of the only few to have a gold dome. Atop the dome is a statue of Ceres. All right, that's Vermont. So, okay, awesome. Vermont has now allowed their minuscule imaginary population of people to legally smoke weed. So if you live in Vermont, please, hey, send us a message. If you're one of those, if Vermont is actually a real place and it actually exists, please confirm this for me and send Atomic Rumpus a message. Just be like, hey, dude, I'm in Vermont. Snap a photo of some Vermont shit. You know, somebody's pigs eating Ben & Jerry's. And then I'll believe you. I'll believe that Vermont's actually real. If not, right now, we're going with Truman Show stuff here. We're going with everything ends when you hit New Hampshire, and it's just a brick wall, and there's no actual place called Vermont. Okay, that's what I'm going with right now. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, and thanks for joining us on Atomic Rumpus. We're back. We're here in the studio. We've all had a rough week.
It was a rough week.
Everybody had a rough week.
It was a fun week. For me, not for everybody.
No, you had a weird rough week. That was you almost died in the desert.
I almost died in the desert.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm glad you didn't. Your nose is like red and bruised. Brandon comes in. He looks like he got into a fist fight.
He does. Your hands are all scraped up.
Yeah, my knuckles.
Is it scrapped with someone?
Scrapped.
Did he scrap?
He looks scrapped.
Or did he grapple?
Ooh,
maybe I did both. Maybe I scrappled.
You scrabbled. I think that's what you call playing Scrabble and drinking Snapple at the same time.
Scrappling?
Scrappling. Mm-hmm. Yes, scrappling.
This is a scrapply look.
I don't know. I think it's more of like if you get into a fight while you're
over a four-letter word.
Yeah, where you're trying to climb up a building. You know, like a grapple. If you meet another person climbing up the
while
same
grappling,
building, and you two fight each other.
Yes.
While scaling the building.
Dueling window washers.
That would be awesome.
Typically Scrapple.
That's a YouTube video in the making. We need to make that.
Yeah. What happens if one gets hired to do the east side of the building, the other gets hired to do the west side of the building? There's like a beef going on.
Yeah, it's an east versus west.
So So
you were not cleaning windows, fighting people.
I was not. I wish I was.
Who bloodied your face?
Yeah.
I bloodied my own face.
Okay.
And no, I'm not like a cutter. I'm not, trying to express my angst for any reason.
That doesn't look like a cutter. It looks like that's a sandpaper. It looks like you sandpapered your nose angrily.
Instead of carving, words into my arms, I just sandpaper myself. That's a new version of
smashed is the descriptor I would use. You look kind of smashed.
Yeah. So no, I did a Tough Mudder. My first Tough Mudder ever.
A Tough Mudder.
Tough Mudder. MUDDER.
I've heard of these.
It's fun. It's an obstacle course, kind of like a Ninja Warrior obstacle course, but it's 10 miles or 10 to 12 miles long, and it's in the desert.
Long marathon ninja.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's
when I think ninja, I usually don't think jogging through the desert, but okay, I can go with this.
No. And most of the people that did it they're not ninja necessarily. There were some that were ninja'd out, but it's just a big group where you get together and you conquer all these different obstacles. And
why is it called Tough Mudder though? Is that like a brand brand?
Because most of the obstacles are in the mud. That's like a staple of it. So you're crawling like army crawling under barbed wire through the mud, and you're jumping into muddy water, and
it's a brand. Okay,
and it's Tough Mudder. You can't really call it like the Tough Dirter and still get the same, pun.
No, because it also sounds like mother, Tough Mother.
Exactly.
You're one tough mother, Tough Mudder.
That's the point.
And it's muddy.
And it's muddy.
It's muddy.
It's like, what's the thing that people do all around town now? They run around carrying kettlebells, screaming,
begging for change. No, that's called being homeless.
What's it? It's the workout thing that it annoys every CrossFit. Yeah.
CrossFit.
So this is like CrossFit's a brand.
But this is better. Than
like
CrossFit.
hot yoga's a brand. This is I can't do my own Tough Mudder in the park, right? I would be
right. You'd be infringing on somebody else's.
It'd be like an unsanctioned mud event.
You'd have to be like the mediocre mudder or something.
Okay, which would still probably infringe on the
couch mudder. Okay, that would be mine.
I get it. So you did specifically Tough Mudder.
I did the Tough Mudder copyright TM.
Did you get you got a certificate?
I got a headband and a T-shirt and a whole shit ton of scrapes and bruises
and a bloody nose.
And a bloody nose. And I'm literally like the sorest I've ever been in my entire life.
Why aren't you modeling this headband for me?
I should have brought it. Yeah, because it's probably still all bloody and dirty.
You got a headband? Like you could have come in all Cobra Kai today, and you didn't.
Does it tie in the back?
No. It's like a the basketball headband thing. So it's not. I wish it tied.
What's a basketball headband?
A sweatband.
Like a LeBron James headband.
Sweatband.
Yeah, sweatband.
Okay.
Yeah, not like a Cobra, not like a Karate Kid.
Not a
what is it? Bonsai tree.
Bonsai tree.
Although I should do the next one as a Karate Kid.
Yeah, or camo. It could be that's a Rambo too. It's also if it's thin and it waves in the air, it's a Rambo.
That's true. Yeah. And if it's thicker and it has a bonsai, it's a Karate Kid.
It's a Karate Kid.
If it's tied backwards, it's a Tupac.
So how many days did this take?
It was a one day event. So we went out we did it in Vegas, and we flew out on Saturday night. Our flight got in at like 9 p.m.
Okay.
Woke up at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. to get ready to do this thing. Then we drove out to the desert, and they ran through the whole obstacle course. And we left that next morning at 4 a.m. So I had like the whole sleep deprivation element on top of it, because I think I slept 2 hours total.
Wow.
Throughout the whole thing. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of community. Like people were helping. You have to help other people like over these events. They're designed so you're not supposed to do it by yourself.
It's not like a mosh pit where somebody falls in the mud, you step on them, and then you rock out and keep going.
No, I mean I was doing that to people too, just for fun, but it was frowned upon. Like they didn't like.
What was the average age of the mudders?
They were pretty young, 20s. There were a few older people, and actually the older guys did better because they were, they had like that fire, like I'm gonna die tomorrow if I don't do this, and so they were more serious about it. But no, it was fun. They I did great. Like I was the whole time throughout there, I'm thinking like, oh, this isn't that big a deal. I'm doing all right. I'm not, dying or anything yet. I'm not bloody. Yeah. Till the very last event. And after you go through everything, the last two events, first one is you're swimming. It's like 50 yards across like a river. Like there's this muddy, stagnant water that I'm sure I've got diseases you can't pronounce yet. So you swim across that, and that one kicked my ass.
So they plan these things along natural.
Wait, so part of it is fighting organisms?
Pretty much. Like I'm still running it if that's how we're doing it. Because my body is still trying to fight off, I'm sure, all the desert waste.
They check in with each person in 6 months, and whoever didn't get dysentery gets bumped up a notch in the rankings.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably not a scrape. It's probably a flesh-eating bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
Nose. So
definitely.
That'll be fun. But so you do that.
Don't touch the cats.
Too late. Sorry. I licked one of them.
Whoops.
Yeah. It's bad for both of us. So you do that, and I'm drenched in water, and I was wearing like a long sleeve, the Under Armour shirts, because I heard about the very last event, which is it's called electroshock therapy. And it's called electroshock therapy.
Sounds wonderful.
Weirdly enough, because you get electrocuted as you run through it. It's basically like a maybe 10-yard sprint through these like dangling wires, and they're actual live wires that you're running through. And there's like little hay bale set up every few feet that you got to jump over as you're sprinting through this thing, getting shocked to shit. And I read about it, and I thought, okay, it can't be that bad.
This is masochist.
It is. Yeah. Okay. So, but why do you have to sprint through it?
Oh, you don't. You just it's in your best interest to sprint through
you could go slowly because there's electrical wires everywhere.
Oh no, there's no avoiding it. Like they're spaced out. Like even if you walked through it and tried to angle through, you can't do it.
So better to just charge through like a dick.
100%.
Okay. All right.
That's the only way you can do it. They say you put your hands in front of your face. So you don't actually get hit in the eye or something.
Yeah.
And you just run and accept whatever punishment you get.
This is okay. You slipped into Fight Club now. You went a little Fight Club on this Tough Mudder
thing. What they didn't tell you.
Did I hear you name this dick charge? That's what you do? Did you dick charge? Did you in fact use this proof technique?
I flaccidly flopped across the thing. If you really wanted to call it something. So I got in all mentally pumped up and whatever. And like I said, I was wearing long sleeves because I thought that would help a little bit, with the wires not actually contacting your skin. That might be a little bit of a deflection.
That's not how electricity works.
No, especially not when you're soaking wet because you just swam through a river, not 5 minutes ahead of time. So when I ran through every wire that shocked me, the water distributed that shock throughout my entire body. Yeah. Which, funny fact, when you get shocked, your muscles contract.
Yeah.
Which means you can't jump over hay bales.
Yeah.
So when you're mid-stride trying to jump over a hay bale and you hit a wire, you end up catching your foot on the hay bale, and then you end up going face first into the next hay bale.
This sounds like a serious lawsuit waiting to happen.
Oh, you sign away all that shit. Yeah, you literally, it says if you die, it's not our fault. Like they have that wording specifically.
Yeah, but there's still what happens if they plug in too many plugs for the wires and
I know, can they hit you with 2x4s?
Yeah,
where's the line?
Where's the line here?
There isn't a line.
Does this slowly devolve into Michael Douglas the Game type stuff where now you're actually out in the woods
chased.
being hunted? Yeah, and you're like, you signed it away. You're on this pay-per-view hunting show now.
That's on the next one. That's the Tougher Mudder. And they actually have that. They have a Tougher Mudder and the Toughest Mudder, which is like a 24-hour thing where you're doing that whole thing for 24 hours.
They just chain you to a pole and beat you.
Yeah,
and
they waterboard you partway through.
It's like Stephen King's the Running Man.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is what it felt. It actually felt like The Long Walk, where you seriously if you fall behind, you end up getting shot.
Yes.
It was torture, but it was fun. After you're done, after I came out and my face was all bloody and muddy, and it was the first time I actually felt.
They gave you a sweatband.
They gave me a sweatband for my troubles. Actually, you get a free beer too. So I could have paid $5 and gotten a sweatband and a free beer, but instead I ran through 10 miles of.
All right.
Wait, and how much does this cost to enter this?
It's like $150 or something.
Wow, to be abused.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for it though. I was roped in as part of a group. I don't know that I would have done it on my own.
We are trying too hard. Seriously, we're trying too hard. That's it.
I agree.
I got to make my own mudders, my own.
And there was a good turnout. There's something I don't remember the numbers, but it's over 100,000 people every year do this, and they're held in all these different cities.
Yeah, I was cheerleading section for one in Houston.
Yeah, they're huge.
But that was before they were introducing electricity into the mix.
So there were 100,000 people running through this thing?
No. These are all the different, throughout all the events. I think ours was probably 500 or 600.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
But it was a big community thing that helped a lot. And they didn't tell you though, first of all, you're supposed to apparently train for it. And I'm going from a desk job where I do not shit to going home and watching TV and doing not shit.
So you watch YouTube videos about hiking.
I didn't even watch YouTube videos. I read up on the events that and they don't tell you what the events are until the day before, so you can't prepare specifically for these events. They change them every time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even do that. And then I read about some of the potential events. I'm like, okay, so if I get in touch with that, I'll know how to get through it. Okay. Whatever. But there's a whole physical exertion aspect that I completely underestimated.
Yeah.
Because you won't even go for a walk with me.
No, I've driven to the store
you're
when you guys walk.
Nikki, I'll take the car.
Yeah.
I'll take the car.
And it's not that I used to be in shape, and I'm not I wasn't the worst person there. But,
all right, but you made it through. So what happened to your nose? Why is that all smashed?
Remember the part where I said I was running through and they lock up your body when you get shocked and you trip on a hay bale and you go face first into another hay bale? That wasn't a hypothetical. That was because I ran through and got shocked while I was trying to jump over a hay bale and ended up going face first into another hay bale.
So this is what face first into a hay bale does to your nose.
It scratches the holy crap out of it. And I guess it looked a lot worse because when I came out, I gotta
admit, it was more impressive when I thought it was from scrappling.
No, I agree.
Now it's I tripped on a hay bale.
It's grass punched him in the face.
That gives me a little bit of credit, right?
You fought grass and grass won.
I got electrocuted by a 10,000 volt live wire. That's what I'm going to say. That's the story that I'm going to lead.
You should have had your headband on, and maybe it would have protected you. You could have put it over your nose.
Be fair. I'm sure he gave that hay bale hell.
It looked worse than I did. It defindethink it was head.
All right.
So yeah, I won. I feel like I won.
I'm sure you heard its feelings cursing it out as you ran by.
I don't think I even cursed. I think I just laid there fuck me.
Well, I got to give you credit. Most other people did not do anything near that active this last weekend.
Right. How did your weekend go?
I fixed the Roomba.
All right.
That was the most active thing I did this weekend.
Did you have to like unscrew like a very stubborn wire? Was there a stripped screw involved?
I had to replace the entire side brush module.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, that's the hardest module. Is the side brush module. Yeah, that had to have hurt. While you were doing that, did you happen to get electrocuted by 10,000 volts? Okay.
No, I did not.
Well, I mean, that's still that's still hard.
Again, you keep bragging about the volts, and everybody knows electricity. It's the amps that kill you. It's not the volts.
There was amps too.
It's the 10,000 volts, 1 amp. Big deal.
There's like I don't know how many amps, but there was amps.
All right,
I felt the amps.
I need an electrician. We need an electrician. We're gonna take a break and talk to an electrician. We'll be back.
All right.
Oh yeah, everybody. It's my favorite segment on the show, the Bud of the Month. For those of you new to the podcast, this is where I review a cannabis strain. Obviously, I like the cannabis. I also like reviewing it. I like smelling it. I like looking at it. I like pretending I got more of it than I actually do. I like pretending that I'm in a tub full of cannabis that suddenly catches fire. That's a weird one. That might be bordering on some type of strange sex fetish. But that's for a different show. This month, we've got a Purple AK. That's right, Purple AK-47. This is a cross between a Granddaddy Purple, which is like the pimp of purple pimps, and AK-47, which if you're not familiar with is not a gun. It is a gun, but it's also a strain. Not really sure what the strain and the gun have in common, other than sounding tough. This is a typical one-hit wonder strain. If you don't know what a one-hit wonder is, you need one hit, and then you're like wondering where the food is, or which kitty to play with. It's got a very, very floral, pungent aroma. Not one of those strains you can hide. You put this in your pocket, everybody at work is going to know you were just out in the parking lot getting stoned. So keep that in mind. Your boss will smell this. Hopefully he's not a douche, and he'll smoke one with you after work. Most bosses don't do that. The good ones do. I'm that type of boss. I encourage my employees. I don't have employees. I encourage people to just smoke it all the time. I also want to say this strain is very relaxing for the body. A body strain. Again, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you any medical advice. Don't take anything I say seriously. I'm just an Italian who likes to puff on this every now and then. That's all. That's as serious as we can get here. So if you're in one of the lucky states that has legalized cannabis, I highly suggest you check out a Purple AK. If not, put in a request with your shady dealer. I'm sure he won't give a shit that you want Purple AK. He'll probably just sell you something else and be like, yeah, sure, it's Purple AK. Get the fuck out of my car. And you're listening to Atomic Rumpus. This part of the show, we're going to discuss some weird events in the world, in the news. And this is fascinating. So apparently, everybody, the universe should not exist right now. According to science, and we all know that you can absolutely trust science 100% of the time.
It's science.
It's because it's science.
It's science.
It's science. Science is never wrong.
Never. I mean, it's never right either.
It's never right either.
But that's what's cool about it.
Yeah, because you can't ultimately prove truth, but that's a totally different episode.
Yeah, science.
Yeah. So science has said, what has science said, Brando?
So science,
the universe?
I was talking to science, and science was all like, hey, at the beginning of the universe, according to a particular model, there are equal amounts matter and antimatter.
What model? Kathy?
It doesn't matter.
Which model? A hand model?
No, it's a
Cindy Crawford.
A
model?
universe model. Probably Miss Universe. That's where that came from.
Miss Universe is like, none of this shit exists.
No. Oh, here's my matter and my antimatter, and they cancel each other out. So now there's nothing. Mm-hmm. But that's the premise. Because the matter and the antimatter cancel each other out, there's no matter. Nothing matters.
That's why nothing should be here.
That's why nothing should be here.
That's what science
says? The fact
says?
that they haven't annihilated each other, I think, was what she said specifically.
Man, this does not help my existential crisis.
This actually does, because now I realize why I've been having an existential crisis to begin with.
Because you shouldn't exist.
Exactly. I've been trying to find meaning in my existence when the real meaning is I'm not even here.
I can't even process it, because in psychology we say that you shouldn't should on yourself.
Oh, yeah, but
all
you are.
All shoulds, S-H-O-U-L-D.
I haven't should on myself since I was in third grade.
I did, but I blame the burrito.
by that you shouldn't shoot on yourself. And this feels like a pretty big should. Like, we shouldn't be here. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's not a should. That's a shouldn't.
I agree.
Same thing.
It's the biggest shouldn't, though. You shouldn't, what? Shouldn't touch that? Shouldn't walk here? Shouldn't play it? No, exist. It's like...
So what made us exist? Is it like the sheer force of like human narcissism? Like that energy like just created us that we had to like get to the point of being able to take selfie?
Based on a lot of my interactions with people, that's probably pretty accurate.
That's what it was. The universe clicked. The Big Bang happened. The universe took a split second to take a selfie. And the universe's narcissistic selfie is actually what brought all of this and Facebook into existence.
Everything makes sense now.
I like this model. Let's call this the Atomic Rumpus model of the universe.
I think we just solved like all the mysteries of the universe.
This article is killing me. Look at the end of this. They're bringing like Stranger Things type shit into this. They're saying that all right, so the other scientists are looking at other possibilities, including that antimatter has upside-down gravity, meaning that it would in effect fall upwards. And that's the reason why it exists, because the upside-down gravity cancels out the right side of gravity. Of course,
yes, it attaches to the Winona Ryder particle.
Right. Which, and then the Gorga demon. The Gorga demon. That guy's name? He comes in and
the Demogorgon.
The Demogorgon. Yep, yes. He's the one that's grounding everything. Gotcha. He's keeping it all together.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the complete symmetry between matter and antimatter are, in effect, the Demogorgon just holding us both.
So really,
together.
to me, this just says, hey, we're science, and we really don't know.
Pretty much.
Yes.
But we know what we think should and shouldn't possibly happen. We don't know what does or doesn't or why.
I know, but according to one model.
According to the model.
Everybody's just crapping up science. I'm sick of science being all crapped up.
There's only one Miss Universe, okay? And we're not gonna call her expertise into question here. We are not that show.
Science doesn't should. It doesn't should we. Should we not?
Yeah.
They're just crapping up. No study came out and was like, it should be.
That's all
it
science
shouldn't
does.
be. It shan't. It's all shit.
Yeah, last time science told me we shouldn't do things, it was like, you shouldn't eat butter, but you should eat sugar. You shouldn't eat bacon. And it's like, no, bacon is fine for you. And it's like, you should eat bread. No, bread makes you fat. You shouldn't eat bread.
You shouldn't look at the sun during an eclipse. Why not? I looked at the sun. Now I can't see anything else.
Yeah, you've got a giant bruise on your nose.
Yeah, why do I need this? Why do I need to look at things? Science says I shouldn't.
Science got to get its things straight. I think this was just an article written by somebody having an existential crisis. Some scientist was like, we shouldn't be here. And I hope that scientist gets the help that he needs.
I would like to tell this article to officially suck it because I exist.
According to you, I think you shouldn't.
How do you know you exist? Can you see you right now?
Absolutely.
How do you
really?
know?
Is there a mirror behind me?
She sees herself in your. She sees herself reflected in your soul.
Nadine just. I don't know. The face Nadine just made was. Maybe she's questioning her existence. Maybe she's farting right now.
That was me watching myself, Chris.
She was shooting herself right now. She just laid a big old should right on the floor.
Aww.
Hey everybody, Brando here. I just wanted to jump in and say how much we appreciate our listeners. We love you guys and we love bringing content to you. We'd love to continue bringing you even more content. We have video, we have hopes for bits, we have all kinds of great grand ideas. Help support our show by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/atomicrumpus. You get bonus content, you get Easter eggs, you get bloopers, you get dupers, you get supers, you get all kinds of stuff. There's various different levels, and with every level you're contributing to helping make this show great and bring it to more people. So if you love us back, go to patreon.com/atomicrumpus. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to bring you content, and thank you so much for listening.
Every month on the show, we do a contest giveaway. This month's contest will be a Name That Strain contest where you, the listeners, can submit funny, original cannabis strain names, and we will pick the funniest one as a winner. We're going to be changing up the contest a bit. We're going to be rotating the topic, so sometimes it's going to be a Name That Strain, sometimes it's going to be a Name Something Else. Either way, you're going to be submitting and we're going to be voting on them and choosing a winner. The winner will receive studio prizes. We have posters, we have CDs, we have other giveaways. Here's how it works. You come up with an original, funny strain name like Skunk Manifesto or Lemon Dubalicious or Orange Prime number 5. Whatever your crazy little brain comes up with, send them to us. You can tweet them at us at Atomic Rumpus. You can Facebook it to us at Atomic Rumpus. You can Instagram it. I hate Instagram. I don't even use it, but you can do that too. Or you can send us a message on Patreon or email. Whatever you feel like doing. So yeah, we're going to run this competition for February, and we're going to announce the winner at the end of February. So you have about 3 weeks to get your submissions in, and go. Green chef. Or
Chef.
It's the chef. It's the, what do we call it? It's the effing chef. It's freestyle chefing.
Chefing, yeah, there you go. Freestyle
chefing.
Or chefing freestyle. I don't know.
We don't know what we're going to call it yet. It's one of the two.
Yeah, something with chef.
I'm ready to chefin'.
Let's chefing it up.
Chefin'.
We'll chef the crap out of this.
Nadine's got a chefing recipe today.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
For Goudapocalypse.
Is that the name of it, or is that just like the act of what you're doing?
It's what happens as the Goudapocalypse enters your face.
Oh,
you
man.
feel the Goudapocalypse.
So this is like there's no Gouda left for miles after this.
No, not for miles.
That sounds bad. That sounds like after I eat it, I'm going to have some type of explosion in my stomach, and that never ends well.
If you're one of those people who can't deal with lactose, I don't know what to tell you.
Then you'll have a Gouda.
Take shelter from my Goudapocalypse.
Yeah, I don't know. People, do people who have an inability to process lactose even listen to shows? Do they have enough energy to hear? Because I feel like lactose is one of like the elements, the prime elements.
I can't live without cheese, so I don't understand how other people function with that. I feel such deep empathy.
I don't think it affects your ability to listen to shows, though. Like, that seems a little harsh.
I react with more sorrow and not, what is it? It's not pity. It's
empathy.
Empathy. I react with severe empathy if somebody tells me they're lactose intolerant. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, how do you get up in the morning?
Meanwhile, they tell me they're like, yes, I've got stage 9 cancer. I'd be like, wow, sorry to hear that, but at least you can eat cheese. Okay, well, I mean, I love Gouda,
so you sound ready for the Goudapocalypse. This is what I'm hearing. You ready?
My body's ready.
You ready? Okay, so this is what you need. Okay. You need a pack of peppered smoked salmon.
Lost me. Where do I get peppered smoked salmon?
We got some at Costco.
Any of your local grocery stores. It's in a package. It's
where they sell food. It comes from the sea.
Can I catch my own peppered smoked salmon? Like
what? No. I think you should. I think you should start with driving to a store, finding it, opening the package, and trying to cook something.
Yeah, if you catch a salmon and the salmon pops out and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You're like, "Wow, that salmon's peppered and smoked." You know what I mean? That's normally salmon's. You got to do that to him later.
I don't know that I would eat that salmon.
Exactly.
I might want to keep that one.
He's got a cigar. That's the peppered smoked salmon you catch in the wild.
That'd be a cool one. I'd like that.
So smoked salmon.
Hold on, I am a little confused. I think this. First off, I'm afraid that we're harming the Gouda. Okay, that's what this makes me feel like. It makes me feel like we're hurting there's no more Gouda.
So you're stepping up in defense of Gouda is what's happening right now?
Yes.
Okay.
When I hear the phrase Goudapocalypse, I'm like, what did they do to the Gouda?
There's no more Gouda left.
Yeah.
They just wiped
So I want to make, and now you're starting with fish. So I'm just a little confused.
Oh, because the fish are what actually got rid of the Gouda. The fish bombed the Gouda.
Is that how it worked?
Creating a Goudapocalypse.
Goudapocalypse.
And now it's just the fish that live free.
Smoked peppered salmon.
Smoked peppered salmon it is.
All
right, so you break it up in a bowl, just with your hands. Easy peasy.
Yep.
You take one fat carrot.
Gotcha.
And you shred it. You shred it on like the cheese grater. You just shred it up.
You shred the fat carrot on the cheese grater.
Fat carrot, yes. I did the medium size, but you can shred it tiny if you want to. Then I have these sweet pickles. That when I first got these pickles, I was mad at these pickles because I really wanted spicy, delicious pickles that I crave.
And they were butter pickles?
And they were
that's
buttery
always
and
bad.
sweet, and I was really pissed off because it's a giant jar.
It's like 4 pounds of pickles.
Yes.
That
Okay.
you don't like.
So I had to do something with the pickles. So weird pickles. If you have weird pickles that are sitting in your fridge that you think you're never going to eat, get those pickles.
I'm starting to understand this recipe.
Yeah, it involves anger. From whatever, like you have to be really mad at your food as you're
at least the pickles. You have to curse at the pickles while you're putting the pickles in.
Add your vengeance.
She was very
into the
upset
pickles.
when
You're
she put these
starting
pickles
to
in.
get my Goudapocalypse vibe.
Well, here's what I'm picking up on. There's no Gouda so far in the recipe, so I'm envisioning in a world without Gouda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what you make. Is that it?
Get your hands off of me, you dirty salmon.
I mean, it could be. Your dreams could come true.
Okay.
Just hold tight to the end of the recipe. Let's see.
I love Gouda.
So, weird pickles, cut them up, tiny.
Angrily.
Or happily, because you're
No.
figuring out what to do with them.
Don't cut anything with a sharp knife angrily.
Yes.
You just said
Ever.
you were angry. You shredded the carrots angrily, didn't you?
No, you just have to have a
you were
minor.
angry.
No, you did.
You
You were
have to have-
angry until
You
the
know,
pickles.
you need a weird, angry reason to cook food.
That's true. I do.
I do not.
But you just said you were angry. So are you angry
Then
or
I
you're not angry?
shifted. I shifted.
She changed.
Now there's a shift
She's
involved.
flip-flopping, yo.
Now there's an emotional shift. This is such a
I'm
weird
a
recipe.
woman. I feel things and then I don't, and then I feel them again.
And then you expect us to magically know those things.
Okay,
And how
angry
to
pickles.
react.
Angry pickles.
Angry pickles. Oh yeah, I was originally angry at these pickles. I remember now.
Knew it.
Yes, but you get the weird pickles that you thought you couldn't do anything with, and you cut them up and you throw them in to the bowl.
Okay.
Then you add mayo. So like you would make a tuna salad, we're making a salmon salad. And you mix the mayo.
Still no Gouda.
Then you cut up a bunch of Gouda.
Oh,
Gouda.
okay, all right.
You shred it.
Uh-huh.
And then you throw it in the bowl. Then you take mozzarella and you shred it. And you throw it in the bowl.
Well, what is that really what you do?
Yep.
Do you put the mozzarella in the bowl? Because actually, while she was making this upstairs, she's like, shred me some mozzarella. And I was like, okay. I shredded it and put it right in the bowl. And then she walked over and she's like, that's not where it goes. So you're actually not supposed to put the mozzarella in the bowl. Shred the mozzarella. Don't
I rolled
put it in
with
the bowl.
it.
I know you rolled with it very calmly.
Now I'm
I did.
confused. So what happens to the mozzarella?
I
Does
think
it go in the
here's
bowl?
what made the Goudapocalypse. It was supposed to be Gouda, and then I threw mozzarella in the bowl, and I apocalypsed the Gouda. I fucking destroyed the Gouda.
So the mozzarella was really the genocidal maniac that got rid of the Gouda.
yes, because the mozzarella masked the Gouda.
There can be only one cheese.
Yep.
Is kind of where we're at with that.
Yep.
So
I
there's too
rolled
many
with it and it
cheeses.
became a 2-cheese Goudapocalypse.
Okay, so we do want the other cheese now?
Yes.
Yes,
Does it
that's
go
what
in-
makes the Gouda.
Yes.
That's what goes down in history as the destroyer
Gouda,
of
okay.
Gouda is the second cheese that shouldn't have been there.
So then, dude, does it go in the bowl? Because you just said it didn't. You said it did. What happens with the bowl?
It depends on how merciful you're feeling.
What if you're just
How-
heartless? What if you're just vengeful?
Then
and you-
throw it all in the bowl and
right.
screw the Gouda.
angrily again. Throw all that in the
It's
bowl.
the only way you will cook something, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Angrily.
Okay.
Correct. I need to be full.
You mix it up
I'm indifferent towards the salmon.
and then you eat it on a sandwich or in a tortilla with
Tortilla
some
was-
spinach.
Wait. There's no cooking?
Nope.
No.
You just mix it?
Yep.
There's no heat applied.
No
Nope.
heat. Brando.
How can it be a Goudapocalypse with no heat? Like apocalypse is like fiery burning death.
No, it's just no more. It could be any type of apocalypse. You don't
You don't cook.
Yeah,
You don't
I need
cook. You don't have fuel during the apocalypse.
Yeah. Exactly.
perfect.
I want to cook something. Could I toast bread?
You could.
I feel like I need to cook. I need to have some sort of fire.
Yeah, no, you cooked the tortillas.
Ah.
She cooked the
did.
So
tortillas.
you can cook tortillas
heat up the tortillas
on, with fire.
With fire.
You heat them up.
Yeah, you can make them crispy even, or you use a taco shell. You can
Yep.
heat those up.
Taco shell.
Any kind of edible container you can come up with.
Pita crisps.
Yep.
Sure.
You could.
I
you could
scooped
cook
it
pita.
with potato chips,
Like
it was a dip.
All right.
So that's the Goudapocalypse.
That's it. The Goudapocalypse.
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 I feel good.
I still think it's like an
Goudapocalypse.
Italian screaming out Goudapocalypse.
It's a good apocalypse. It's an okay
yeah,
apocalypse.
It's an okay apocalypse.
No, it's a good apocalypse.
Goudapocalypse.
There we go.
I think the second cheese is what does it. That's it. You can make any other apocalypse there.
So could it be called a mozzarella apocalypse?
Mm-hmm. If you just add the Gouda second, you're now destroying the mozzarella.
Variation.
Yep.
You could.
Those
All
two
right.
cheeses. They got to be two cheeses that don't go together though.
That's true.
I'm sure, right?
put 'em
It's
in-
part of the recipe.
It's like
Sure.
a sitcom. Those two cheeses, you put them
Gouda-
together, you never know what'll happen.
Goudapocalypse. Try it out.
Goudapocalypse.
Thanks for listening to Atomic Rumpus, everybody. You can check us out online at atomicrumpus.com, on Patreon at patreon.com/Atomic Rumpus. Have a great week, everybody. Happy smoking.